slammed Iowa State badly. Now, I want to go through some of the timeline. Armstrong, I put this up. So Saturday morning at 6:30 or so Saturday morning, I just gotten up, and did you get that tweet? Go ahead, if you could. So this was Saturday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. I had gotten the text, and I said, I've learned through multiple sources, Baylor's offensive line coach, Eric Mateos, no longer involved as a candidate to replace the job at Georgia. Helped turn one of course, the anemic rushing attacks of 2020 into an elite one in 2021. Let me tell you a little bit about Eric Mateos. Thank you, Armstrong. Eric Mateos, I'm going to tell you that I can't tell you for sure if he was the top pick for Georgia, but let me put it this way. It was his job if he wanted it. He also had sent a text to his offensive lineman that morning. And I'm going to tell you this as well. When all that delay with Dave Aranda's contract, and because he really didn't care about the attention, there was also workings with others on staff. Some last year got a bump, and then some this year got a bump. Mateos, obviously, no question, got a bump. When Georgia was very serious about wanting Eric Mateos, Baylor, what I'm being told is Baylor went back to him and discussed some things about, okay, what else? He said it's not about the money. That's what I'm being told, not about the money. He could have gotten another 100,000, 150,000, 75,000. It was never about the money with him. Now, you hear that sometimes, and a lot of times, absolutely it is. I think he knows there's unfinished business. He will be a coveted offensive lineman, coach, no matter how long it's going to be. But that was pretty cool, and he'll
have an opportunity to be a coordinator too, though. And that's what I mentioned last week.
And I don't even know if that's what he wants, and that's something we could ask him next time we do talk to him.
But the next time we talk to him, career goals, like you would think that given what he just did with the offensive line, he's still under 40 years old. I mean, so this is not someone who is at the I've got to climb to the biggest spots right now, or it could be too late kind of point in their life. And Baylor right now is a good opportunity to, run it back with the same, offensive line minus one guy, and continue to build that, build your resume. Jeff Grimes is going to be a head coaching candidate again soon. So those things are going to happen, and then let the chips fall where they may. And going to go is not always the best thing, and especially if you feel comfortable. And anemic, I guess, was the polite way to put it. You can take a pill for anemia, Smokey. That offensive line needed like Dr. Frankenstein at times.
Well, they got
2 years ago.
They got both. They got Dr. Frankenstein, and all the other the bolts and all that with Jeff Grimes in the wide zone, the reliable, violent offense, and what Eric Mateos brought to the table. He's just a damn good coach. Yeah, and he and Grimes are like Batman and Robin. And I'm not trying to say who's Batman and Robin because the coordinator title, but he's just. That's a huge win for Baylor because, as you said this Friday, so you get Aranda, that's been official for a few months, but finally released, and then you have all the others who are kind of, and you lose Chancey Stuckey, you replace him pretty quickly. You have Powledge go to Oregon, you replace him very quickly, and then all of a sudden, damn, here comes Mateos. He's staying. That's a big-time win for Dave Aranda, Mack Rhodes, the athletic department, and Baylor football.
Jeff Grimes is Batman. He's top of the food chain. So, or Dave Aranda, if Dave Aranda wants to be, and Grimes could be Robin or Ron Roberts. But that's big news. I mean, I'm not totally shocked by that. Just because a bigger school comes calling, and in this case, they're the defending national champs. So, I mean, that's gonna, have anybody going, what? Oh, Georgia. Okay. Wow. But, I think there's a lot to be said for the fact that he loves living in the state of Texas, and he just got back here, a couple years ago. It seems to enjoy it. Seems to enjoy being around Waco. Seems to enjoy the people he's working with and the players he's working with. And seems to have enjoyed that success they had last year, which is really them just getting the ball rolling. So I don't think it's totally shocking by any means. Not everybody can be money whipped. If you're somebody without any money, then it's pretty easy to money whip him. If you're somebody who's already been making a pretty good living, like he probably has been now for a little while, then it's not as much of a big deal if there's an extra $100K or whatever it might be on the table. That's not to say there's not a figure that can't be thrown out that can sway just about anybody, but, we're also talking about an offensive line coach, and Georgia's probably not thinking they're going to break the bank on there. So, I think he's going to be highly coveted. He's going to be able to turn down some jobs, and he's going to be able to kind of dictate his own path. But right now, that path for him is Baylor, and I think that's great because their offensive line was One of the best stories in college football last year in
question.
terms of improvements, and the season they had as a team, again, going back to taking advantage of opportunities. The Baylor football team got to the Sugar Bowl 3 years ago. They went there. The whole week surrounded Matt Rule talk to the NFL. It sucked. The game, not that great. Lose to Georgia. You just lost the Big 12 title a couple weeks before, and it all just kind of felt like, wow, what a great year. They just petered out entirely and didn't really give you a lot of momentum going into the offseason because then you lost your head coach.
Yep.
So it's been kind of nice to see like I've been saying for years now of like if Baylor can just be consistent and finish, then they can turn this thing into a whole nother level of what it's been, and it's been pretty good, but they've been doing that, like the men winning that title last year and football this year going, hey, we're playing for a Big 12 title. That's great. You've done that before. You won it, though. That's the difference. You won it. You won it in one of the most dramatic endings ever, too. I mean, that was the extra cherry on top, but you actually went and won it. Okay, we're going to the Sugar Bowl, play a big SEC team, just like when you were playing Georgia. You know what? This time you went out, you won it. You won it in a dramatic style, or a convincing style, and that just makes all the difference in the world. So, yeah, I don't think it probably took that much to sway him to stay in Waco. They've got a really good thing going on right now. Georgia's obviously got something better. They're the national champions, right. I realize, but just jumping around is not for everybody, and the timing's not right. So that's going to play to Baylor's benefit, and I'm here for it.
Not only to finish with the wins in the Big 12 title game and then the Sugar Bowl, but also to retain the core of your staff and get that out of the way as well. And people will come picking and choosing at you because that's what good programs people want. Nick Saban's been dealing with that forever. Yeah. Armstrong, did you get that picture?
Georgia did hire an O-line coach as well.
Okay,
I didn't mention that. Yeah, Stacy Searles from North Carolina. It looks like he's
used to be at Texas. He's been at a couple of other places as well. North Carolina under Mac Brown, and he's a really, really good name. I don't know if you could put that up or not. This is a picture